Is that okay? Okay, that's what I'll do then.
And the videographer didn't show up either, so lots of people are absent, apparently.
All right. I think I'm ready.
Cool.
No, not quite. Here we go. All right. Hi. I am Bee, and about 3 years ago now, I founded Beeminder with Danny Reeves over there. So Beeminder is quantified self plus commitment contracts. So that means you pledge money to stay on track towards your goals, and then we collect your data, send you reminders, graph your progress, and if you fall behind what you said you were going to do, then we take your money. So we built Beeminder.
How's business?
We built Beeminder as a couple of itch scratchers. And we've used our own tech heavily in sort of motivating our progress along the way. So I'm basically going to tell you a story about the birth of Beeminder and the hacks we use to to get to where we are today. So it's sort of a story of acrasia, time tracking, and behavior change. So I'm ocratic, meaning basically that there are certain things I do even against my own better judgment, certainly including that. And in particular, it seems like I waste lots of time when left to my own devices. So I started to track my time. I wanted to know if I was actually spending 18 hours of my day doing a depth-first search of the internet. And if you're interested in tracking time too, I highly recommend Rescue Time. It's awesome. It's a program you install on your computer. It runs in the background and tracks everything you do, and then gives you nice reports about it. I had a few complaints with that totally passive solution, because it can only track things that happen in front of a screen, and it doesn't get sort of meta information about what I'm doing, like what project I'm working on, or if I am in fact like just daydreaming at some point in time. So we made our own kind of super nerdy time tracker called Tag Time. And basically just at unpredictable intervals throughout the day, it pops up the window like this and asks me, what are you doing right now? And then I add some text tags to that moment in time. And I've been tracking my time like this since 2007. I've got over 80,000 entries in my log file, and I can tell you things like I've spent 2,310 hours, or about 17% of the time that I've been at the computer in the past 7 years, 17% in 7 years. So I've spent 2,300 hours goofing off. But that's only 17% of the time, and it's actually less than an hour a day on average. So back in 2007, when I started collecting this data, I was actually in graduate school, and I wanted to make sure I was treating it like a full-time job and actually spending, at least 40 hours a week on my schoolwork and everything. So I started to graph the data, and my graphs actually went a step further. This yellow line that you see up the middle is, we call it the yellow brick road, and it shows how much I've said I should be doing. So that's my idealized 40 hours of schoolwork per week. And then the data points are what I actually did. So it's easy to see that I didn't stay on track. It looks a lot like what you'd expect from some students, anyhow. I sort of slacked off at the beginning of the semester, and then by working extra hard, made it up by the end. But what you ideally want to see from a student, and as a student, is daily progress. You want to spread your studying out more evenly over the course of the semester. So basically, all I'd done was proved my bad habits, and I didn't actually have any mechanism to act upon them. So a few more years forward from there, Danny and I were taking this idea of graphing our progress alongside the idealized path, and we were turning it into Beeminder. And we were using tag time to measure the time we spent, and we were Beeminding that. And we'd heard all the advice about building a minimum viable product and be your own first customers, and in other words, eat your own dog food. We'd also read this Paul Graham essay, which some of you may or may not have read, about startups, which he calls How Not to Die, and he suggests, just that if you could really hard commit yourself to not giving up, your chances of success would be 90%. So we got this crazy idea to start betting money on our yellow brick roads. We committed to staying on track and never actually falling below that 40 hours a week, or we'd actually pay, cold hard cash. And so at first we were just making bets with our friends, and now we're both up to $270, and that money goes to our users if we fall behind. That line in like 2011 is when we quit our day jobs and went all in. It starts to slip up faster. So, so we were like fully committed. We had rich data, nice graphs showing us the idealized path. We had money on the line. But we got up to 2,000 person hours or so, and we still weren't publicly launched. Our beta users couldn't even create new goals without going through an admin interface. So tracking the time that we spent was important, but it wasn't actually enough. So the metric that you track matters, and we needed to commit to making forward progress in some more tangible way. So we made up this metric. We call them user visible improvements, and we basically have public change log at BeemUBI, and we have $1,000 at risk on that. So if we ever fall below, we do one of those every day on average, and if we ever don't make it on time, we will pay a user $1,000. And in fact, in December, just after passing our 1,000 UBI mark, we actually screwed up and failed to tweet our UBI by midnight. We had like deployed the code, but didn't manage to actually tweet it. And one of our users, Henrik Vist, spotted the derailment and claimed our $1,000. And so we paid him and we promptly re-upped on that. And so we're already at, we're now at like 1,281 user visible improvements. So that's the crux of my story. Basically, we measured our inputs, found the right metrics to track, hard committed ourselves to stick to it, and voila, Beeminder, it like pays the bills. And yeah, I still procrastinate, but I've got a tool that lets me parameterize how much.
Questions?
You have an API that we can integrate with?
We do. Beeminder.com/API.
More questions?
Isn't it kind of your relationship with users, if you turn it around, and it seems like your business model could potentially be hoping your users fail because they give you money, which...
Myopically so. We try to prove good faith by, offering up our own pledges for our own personal goals back to users. So when users fall behind, they pay us, and when we fall behind, we pay them. But essentially, if people aren't succeeding overall, then it's all it would be like a big Ponzi scheme or something. So people are paying for the success up to the point when they do fall behind, if that happens.
How do you track mobile usage or multiple screen usage?
With
Beeminder.
With Beeminder?
Yeah, I mean, let's say I spend a couple hours a day on my phone, which I usually do for work purposes. How do you keep track of that as well, or is it just desktop and web-based right now?
So rescue time, I know, which I recommended at the beginning for time tracking. They do have a mobile app as well that will track time. I believe it all just goes to their, they have an API that they just pull everything out of it.
Okay.
All connects the multiple accounts. Beeminder actually tracks a lot more than just time as well, and there are also manual goals where people track things like how much alcohol they drink, or romantic gestures for their spouse, or all kinds of crazy things.
Have you raised it all?
Raised any money? No, we've actually bootstrapped.
What's the most money that any ordinary user has paid Beeminder?
$810.
Wow.
Nice.
And what do they feel about that?
They are still Beeminding. They did not rage quit.
Eventually they track every day to make sure these guys don't bug.
It would be fair play. That was not actually the user who won our $1,000. So,
How did you form your core team? Were you all people that knew each other, or how did you begin?
So Danny and I are actually married. When we met, it was kind of, he was working on a PhD, I was in grad school. It was all a bunch of, trying to actually get ourselves to do the things that we wanted to do.
How many users do you have?
27,000.
27,000?
That's good.
Any-
That's awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.